Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Jimmy Leach with Matthew Melia, and you are listening to the Not Network podcast. This is the show that's not about networking. It's about having an excuse to talk to some very creative people in some specialized fields. Today, on episode 4, joining us on the podcast is Jordan Orme. All right, hailing from the great Cheese State, Wisconsin, we have music editor Jordan Orme. Standing out from the crowd with his stellar personality and righteous flow, Jordan has edited some top-notch music videos with artists including, but not limited to, Justin Bieber, Tyga, Post Malone, and G-Eazy. Not only has he slid into the music video industry, but also he has developed a not-too-shabby YouTube channel with over 190,000 subscribers as of, what's today's date? Here we go. 11/21/2020. This is where Jordan flexes his editorial skills by reacting to talented editors, in which he explains the reasons behind the cuts. But above all of his accolades, he is the sole founder of Dance Therapy. Jordan, how are you, King?
Snaps for you, bro.
Thank
that
you.
was well written. Good job.
Thank you. I spent over 30 minutes on it.
You didn't write that. You said that off of memory.
It was off the dome.
It was definitely off the dome. He was not reading off his phone.
Y'all is so kind, dude.
Dude, thank you. That was so kind and the best intro I've ever had in my entire life. So the award goes to you.
Yes. Sweet.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, like, we just talked about, getting done with dinner. It's the evening.
Yeah.
We're just chilling. But recently you had a little directing thing with J.O. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, J.O. Yeah, I think that's right. His real name's John.
John.
Yeah, he's called J.O. So
nice. So, like, how was that? Because I really want to know. I saw your Instagram, and it looked pretty lit. Like, I saw the before when you were in Houston when filming it, and then I saw when you posted it.
Yeah. So that it was a good time. I hadn't directed something since film school, which I graduated like 2 years ago, and like a year. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago now. I'm old.
Damn.
Yeah. So I haven't directed anything since then. I've only been an editor, and so I've learned a lot since then. Learned about how to shoot things and how, if I were able to direct a video, like how I would like to do it. And so it was fun because I got to kind of get those ideas and pretend, hey, like I'm in the kind of creative driver's seat right now and I can do whatever the heck I want. And so that was fun and that was nice to have. But also at the same time, anything that goes wrong is also your fault. So it's like, it's kind of a lot of pressure.
The responsibility. Yeah.
There's responsibility. Yeah, exactly. With, what do they say? With great something comes responsibility.
Spider-Man.
Great power, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Great power
exactly.
comes great responsibility, yeah.
Exactly. Frick yeah. I don't remember what I was saying, but I mean basically that was it, and it was cool. We shot on film, which is different than digital. Most things are shot on digital now. But I really like the look and the feel of actual film. So you watch the video, it kind of feels like it's old, like it's kind of back in the day. It has like a vintage vibe, and that's because it was actually shot on film. So it's pretty cool.
It does. So with the intro shot, not to get too in depth with it, but since I like the VFX field, I like, groove.
Heck yeah.
That's my groove. When I saw the intro and it said 2K, it said 2K Gaming, right?
Yeah.
And then it had your name, directed by Jordan Orme. Was that added post or was that after?
So that was added post.
Okay, so that was added post. Okay, sick. I was like looking at it.
Shout out to Jimmy on his like VFX work, man. I always see him just like, oh, I was just messing around today. Then he posts up this freaking like insane 3D freaking
damn, so
CGI-ish.
That's
I'm like, yeah, I was just messing around today, whatever. Yeah, but it looks like I freaking spent 3 days on this.
That's what I tell you, Jimmy,
Stop.
all the time. Jordan, I tell Jimmy this all the time that I walk past his room. He's like working on something. He's like, oh, this is garbage and I hate this. Look at how uncomfortable he is right now. Look at him.
Like, you can't tell, but I'm blushing right now. It's this red lamp, but thanks, guys.
No, shout out to Rigged Pie. You make some good work,
Oh
Jimmy.
my
Great
goodness.
Kai is out here just creating art on the daily.
I hate it.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. So
Got
like
the giggles.
I do. So yeah, VFX props to you. So so you directed it solely, but with editing, did you edit that, or was it like, I don't know if I can say their studio, but you worked for like a couple of studios freelancing. I definitely stalked you. But with the studios that you freelance for, the relationship between the creative director and the editor must be pretty tight knit. Were you that tight knit, or was that actually you editing in the video?
Yeah, so that was actually me editing. I don't know, I couldn't ever trust anybody else to edit my stuff. I don't know. Like, it's honestly like, I wouldn't recommend directors who also edit their own things, but there's something about the creative control that I just can't give up. And I think it's like a fatal flaw that I have. Because usually if you hire an editor that's not you, they'll like do something better than you did because they're like, they have a fresh perspective on the footage. But I'm just like, and plus it was like one of the first things that I directed in a long time.
It's your baby.
I was holding very tightly to it. I was giving it a little cradle, making sure it was fed. All
little rockabye. Yeah.
A little rockabye. But like, yeah, I mean, so.
For sure. I saw you.
Yeah, so I edited it.
I saw you in the, okay, I might have paused the video and like did it frame by frame, but I definitely saw you in the reflection of the TV screen.
Yeah.
And I saw like 4 guys, and then I saw you with the mask because we're in COVID. You were masked up. Was that a problem? Was COVID a problem?
Not really. I mean, I think we shot it all outside in one park, and so we didn't have to like move around a lot, and we were all outside, so that makes it a lot easier.
Okay.
There wasn't too many people on set. There was probably like 4 people in my crew, and then like 6 to 8 people. He had like some friends that came with him. So there was only like 12 people probably there. So it wasn't like a whole lot of people. It was a really low key set. But yeah, for like productions now, usually they have you sign hella paperwork and like get tested before you go on set if it's like a bigger set. And have you like make sure everybody's clean and make sure it's safe. But this was like a lot more low key, like a guerrilla shoot. So didn't go ham like that.
I definitely appreciated everything about the guerrilla setup, because even when watching it, when you said it was film, like I was doing the research and I was like, these perspectives, this color, oh my goodness, kind of vibing with it. And I searched up J.O. and like I was like, holy crap, he has some pretty good hits right now. So to get my mind in the zone, I was listening to a lot of him before talking with you. But like you said before, this is your first directing position, and I mean it's been a minute, but you were directing. How do you say the school? Is it Azusa? Azusa. Wow.
Azusa. I think it's literally the city. So I live in the city of Azusa, and I think it's like a made up name. Like they're like A to Z USA, and they like, and that's like how they made up the name.
Dude,
just
represent.
Like, we need a city name. Like what the frick? How we? It's in the USA, so how about we just like A to Z and then USA? And
I love that.
That was
patriotism.
Their city name. So I think you could pronounce it however you want. I think you could just. I mean, it's up to your creative interpretation.
Gotcha. Azusa. Okay, so with Azusa, you created a few projects for them, and while I was on your LinkedIn, you came out with a few of those videos, and you weren't. You said in a few other interviews that college was your first introduction to editing, right?
Yeah, 100%. So like in high school I didn't do any filmmaking thing. I come from like, at least creatively, I come from more of like a studio art or like music background. I also play drums, and that's like a big part of my life. So I was like, I don't know what I want to do in school. Like maybe film, maybe, I don't know. And so for like the first film class that you have to like make 3 short films. So I shot like my first short film, and I was editing it, and I was like, frick, this is fun. And then I look up at the clock and it's like 5 a.m. I'm like, oh, why am I still here? I need to be sleeping right now. And I was like, well, this was pretty fun. I had a good time doing this. So maybe I could do this some more. And then that was basically it. That's how it started.
You got the drive. That's your origin story.
That's the origin story. That's episode 1 of Jordan Orme.
So you're a musician at heart. You started out as a musician.
Yeah.
How has that affected, since primarily, at least from what I've seen of your work, you edit a lot of music videos and you're involved with a lot of music videos. And I am of the personal belief that music and video are very much married arts, and that they should be more. And kind of the way that my mind works whenever I listen to music or I play music or something like that, I can like visualize it in my mind. And I'm assuming as an editor, you can kind of relate to that. How important is your music background to the work that you've been doing?
Bro, I think it's so important. I don't know. All my favorite editors, like I have like a whole list of like editors that I freaking just love. And almost every single one of them are a musician at some level. Like they play drums or they play guitar or they like make music on the side and that's like their side gig. But it's like, I don't know. I think music, at least as far as editing, music and editing is like very important. And editing is what filmmaking is really. It's just putting videos together in a string, and like that's what filmmaking is, and that's what separates it from all the other art forms. And so yeah, I think music, like exactly like you said, like music and filmmaking is basically the exact same thing. It's just like a visual dance for your eyes, and music is just like a auditory dance over time. And yeah,
that's a good description.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because it always seems like it comes back to this project that I did in college, and Jimmy knows what I'm talking about, but it seems like I'm always talking about this project. But I was talking about how in movies, how the sound and the video, the sound and the audio are just as much of the experience as what you're watching. And if you were to take away that part, you would lose so much of the message and the content and the feeling, the emotion, and how important that aspect is to what you're actually watching, but you don't even realize it. And so I think that's something very fascinating. And I really like that about music videos. I'm so fascinated with music videos because it's something that is more focused, I guess, on the audio aspect. But I mean, the art is still coming through visually. It's all just it's fun to intake.
Intermingled.
Right.
Intertwined.
Right. I always say that, like, yeah, there's just like a big tapestry.
Yeah.
Tapestry.
And deliciousness. I always say
like a delicious, like a spaghetti quilt.
Oh, there you go. Spaghetti.
You know?
Yeah, spaghetti.
Because it's
that's been on my mind recently.
Yeah. Oh, I know it has.
Just had some spaghetti hamburger helper.
Yummy stuff.
But I
anyway,
always say,
what?
basically, in my videos, I say this all the time, but sound, in my opinion, is like 80% of the experience when you're watching. Like visual, like you would say, like lots of people say 50-50. I'm like, nah. Visuals are like 20%. Sound is like 80. It's
you throw
so
that out the window.
Well, that's really cool.
Like there's a reason that people like music and they'll just listen to music.
Yeah.
Like way more than they would watch a video on mute. Like nobody wants to do that.
Isn't one of your like taglines, what is it? Contrast creates focus, right? Okay,
yeah.
so contrast creates focus. So what you're saying with audio is that, we're hearing the ambiance of life throughout, every moment, every second. And, when we take that away or when we add more of it, it kind of like, especially in the creative field, it'll create that focus, Is it,
right.
Is it
right.
contrast creates focus or what?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay, sweet. So, and you said you got mainly that from your professor, Jay New, right?
Yes.
Who has like a over 4.5 rating on Rate My Professor. So shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay.
Honestly,
shout out to Jay.
Stellar professor.
He's a lovely ginger man. We love him.
Did y'all go over the elements? Because because when I took a class over art, we went over the elements of art and principles of design. Did he do a deep dive into that? Because that is one of the fundamental pillars of that. What was the learning process like for contrast?
Yeah, so the class that I got that from, and Jay teaches this class, it's actually not a very easy class, but he like, I learned the most from him out of any classes that I like, from that professor and from that class, out of any classes that I had in school. And it was an aesthetics class. Like, the class was called aesthetics. Like, this is what humans think is beautiful. Like, that's basically what the class is about. And so we go over like literally physics. Like, this is what light is. Light is this, and like, these are colors, and this is like all of the things. And then we would go to like all through the light things and just visuals and just talk about that. And then like at the end, we talked about, this is sound. This is what sound is. Sound is a wave that travels through space. And like, this is what humans like to hear. And this is why, like, what certain things work. It was like such a fascinating class. It was so cool. But yeah, like the tagline for that class was basically contrast creates focus. And like, because like, just as humans, that is like the design principle that goes throughout anything that you like. If it's just like graphic design, if it's just like a billboard you see, if it's like a song you're hearing, if it's like a music video you're watching, if it's a movie you're watching, like any kind of art across the board, like that applies to it. And it's great.
Yeah, make it pop. You hear that a lot.
Yeah. Make it pop, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, you're right, because contrast and like dynamics can be literally used in every single one of our senses, and is very vitally important for, just how we experience things. So that's really interesting.
So while in school, while learning the contrast creates focus, while you were in the class, you did, or maybe this was after, you did a video for Harlow, Rivers Run Dry. You edited that. And was she in the class with you, or was she in that?
No, so this was that was not a school project. That was after I graduated.
Gotcha.
That was just like a music video. She's a fantastic artist. She's actually a songwriter, and she's written for like Britney Spears and like crazy huge artists. And so she's like really talented songwriter, and then she was like starting to kick off her like solo career as an artist. And so that was kind of like her debut.
Dope.
So it was just a music video for her.
So it was interesting for me to see the timeline of you editing, because throughout the whole thing, you didn't stray from contrast, creating the contrast and honing in and making emphasis on characters, because throughout the video, it was super colorful. You had the color balances of like blue and pink, blue and pink, and then it was also teal and orange. And when you cut it, you also did some side effects of where she was, of posting her face, kind of scattering around, and there she was in the center. So I thought that was really interesting, and apparently it's made a huge impact, and especially on your career. But from working in school, and so you're moving out, and you're getting gigs other places. Where was the line from school, gaining the skills, learning, how to do things, and then getting that first real client? Could you explain that?
That's a good question. So like my senior year, I was doing kind of music videos and school at the same time. So I was kind of like, it was almost like a little mesh of like, there wasn't like I'm graduating and now I'm working. It was like I'm working while I'm in school, and now I'm graduating, and it kind of makes it more of a smooth transition. And so if you're in school, I highly recommend doing that. It's great. And so basically, I guess the biggest kind of like push off point for me was, I was looking for like jobs online. I was like on MediaMatch.com. Shout out to MediaMatch. I was looking for jobs, and I saw like a music video job posting, and I saw that the director was Arad, and I had been following him on Instagram for like a couple years at that point. I was like, oh frick, I know who that is. That's crazy.
Guy.
And so
that's the man.
That's the guy. And so I DM'd him on Instagram and was like, hey bro, here's my reel. I had created a reel from some of like the free music videos I was doing while I was in school. And I was like, here's my reel. I would love to work with you because you're freaking awesome, and I admire your work a lot, and just please give me a chance, please. And then I was like in his posts, like his actual feed post, I was like, I sent you a DM, answer me. And then basically he saw it and he was like, cool, bro. And like, that's all he said. And I was like, ooh, break. But then like a month later, he messaged me and it was like, hey dude, we're looking for a young editor. Do you want to like come to the office and like say hi and chat with me really quick? Cause I was like, frick. And so I hopped in the car, ran to the office and, met him up and we just chatted really quick and he let me assist and edit on a music video and it went great. And then he let me edit a music video eventually edit a music video. And yeah, and that was he has like bigger clients. He does a lot of hip hop music videos. So that's where I did like Tyga, like those kind of clients. He does some directing for them. So
wow. That's super dope.
So that was kind of like the bigger break for me, I guess, as far as doing mainstream music videos versus like smaller ones.
So that started from an Instagram DM.
Dude, I want to write a book called Power of the DM. Oh. Literally, this whole podcast just happened because of the power of a DM.
It's true. You just reach out. Guys. Just reach out. What's the worst thing
you can lose? Exactly.
I don't know. You could press the shop icon or something like that now. So, I mean, all right.
It's like the worst thing you could do.
Instagram's going
the
down.
Shop icon, it's got me. I'm upset about it. I don't know.
Super PO, dude.
Not happy about that.
But I don't know. Twitter's kind of posting up with some good like qualities. Fleets, come on.
The fleet is good quality.
I would say sure? So.
They're just emulating everybody else.
Exactly.
It's follow the trend.
They're trying to be Snapchat.
The train. Yeah. Who doesn't want to be Snapchat?
Who's trying to be Facebook? Yeah.
It's gonna be one social media because they're all just gonna do the same thing.
Nice. Everything's going to be blended together, and then it's just going to be nice. We'll only have to post one thing, and it's going to be great. None of this multi-level app thing.
Yeah. I mean, especially when Facebook like owns Instagram now, and it's like, why are there even two separate? I don't get it. What's the difference between these two things? There's
I'm
not
ready
one
for my
anymore.
chip. That's all I'm saying. I'm ready for the chip, just to, and then I'm a part of Facebook. Yeah. So
you are Facebook.
Time. Yeah. I am Facebook.
I am Facebook.
Super robot. So you worked with I think it's pretty dope that you worked with a bunch of cool artists. That's super cool.
Thanks.
How was it like working with not them but like the team of creatives behind that? Because I know at West Studios you got your creative director, you got the photographers, you have the designers, you have the producers, and I know that's different because, or at least in my experience, I've only freelanced out and I've freelanced very in small quantities. What's the difference between kind of doing your own thing, or actually you could compare this to your YouTube channel, because I mean you're popping off there. So what's the difference between working by yourself and then with other people? Like, I don't know, maybe pros and cons is which one you like better?
Yeah. That's a good question. I like that. It's very different because I know, at least as far as filmmaking, it's like such a collaborative art form because you need like a bajillion people to make it. Like you see movie credits at the end, there's like 25,000 people all making one movie. It's like, how do you make that happen? So basically, I mean, there's kind of a top-down thing where there's certain hierarchies and people are in charge of other people. But for me, I usually just answer to the director. And the director and I work together in like on a big budget thing. And my job as an editor is to basically execute the director's vision. And so the director has the most creative control. I can obviously contribute to that with my own edits, and I get basically full say on how the edit goes for the first cut. And then the director can send me notes and we'll tweak it to how he or she wants it. And then after that, then there are executives and labels if it's a music video, and people higher up that are basically paying for whatever it is, and they also get their say because they're putting the money down to make it happen. So that's kind of how it works on like the bigger production level. There are a lot of different hierarchies for different positions, but as far as like being an editor, that's how it goes. But on YouTube, like I can do whatever the frick I want, and that's really nice. So it's cool to do that. Obviously, the health of your channel is determined by numbers, and it's hard to like not pay attention to that because like you want your channel to not tank. And so obviously there's like a little bit of working with your audience and like what they want to see, but then other than that, like you can do whatever you want. So that's really nice. That's
super cool. So when you're working with like a team, and so you have to report it. I mean, though you have a lot of creative freedom, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to come to the director, and he says like if it's yay or nay, thumbs up or thumbs down.
Exactly.
So I'm guessing, and especially when you're interpreting somebody else's kind of vision, being the editor, splicing everything, where did you get that sort of empathy to kind of put yourself in somebody else's shoes to accomplish their vision?
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to bring to the table what you see your vision is. You kind of like almost take their vision and interpret it. You obviously want to match it because you want them to be happy and be happy with the product, but you also want to improve upon whatever they thought of, and that's the job of the editor. And that's why it's good to hire editors, because they generally will improve upon what you create as a director. So it's literally just you guys are partners, just trying to figure it out and make the best thing that you can with what was shot on set. So it's just you're on a partner project together for school. That's literally it.
So that's interesting. Okay, so putting it like in that metaphor, so where did you learn kind of the streamline of communication for that? Because when I do like my graphic design stuff, I'm like pulling things from like people I've seen on how they communicate, but you're relating it to more of like a school project. Did school have was that Jay's influence on you to just mainly communicate with your boss?
No. I mean, it's not like a school project, because school projects usually somebody does nothing and everybody does something. Well, I guess it is kind of like that because the editor does like most everything and the director mostly just tells you what to do. Which just could be kind of like a school project. But
low key.
I mean, the director's in charge. So once you start fighting about something, like the director's gonna win because the director has final say. But like that's what's fun about it is you can still fight about things, and you can be like, oh, I think it should be this way, and the director's like, no, I think it should be this way. Well, why do you think it should be this way? Because this, and this, because whatever. And then you basically just talk about it and deal with it like an old couple having an argument, and then you figure it out. But
wow.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that banter.
Come to a solution. I mean, it's really a constant conversation.
That's super cool, because when I look at it, it's like the way you just described it, it's like super playful. Well, not like super playful, but like it's playful in like a professional setting where it's like you feel comfortable in saying, or I guess confident to say like, I know my shit and this is why I think it's good, but let me hear your perspective and let me see, what's going on in your mind.
Exactly. And that's why people like hire you initially. They're like, I love Jimmy because he makes freaking crazy animations. I love his stuff. And so I'm going to hire him and I'm going to have him do this project that I have. And then you're going to put your spin on it, do your thing. And then you'll be like, Jimmy, that was freaking awesome. I hired you because I love your work. And then if they have like little tweaks, they'll say, okay, but like, how about we just like change this thing and this thing? And you'll be like, no, because of this. And like, oh yeah. But then that's where it gets frustrating because like, obviously Jimmy is much more qualified to say certain design things should look like this. And then this person that's paying him to do it like has no idea what they're talking about, but they're paying him. So basically you're going to have to end up doing what the money person says just because they hold the cash. But that's how the creative life goes. But it's fun when you're with a director because the director isn't really the one that's getting paid.
Yeah.
So it's just partner projects.
Gotcha. Sweet. So because, and I think it's a weird time right now because of COVID, but I've heard a lot of people who work in studios, and I don't know how Wes does their production, but is it easier to talk with people when you're in like the same room? Do y'all work in the same room, or is it online and you have to jump
Yeah,
through
right now we're
communication.
all remote. So this is the computer I work at every day in my house. But yeah, I mean we do have an office, and sometimes we're all in the same room, and you can just be like, hey. Lots of times I like to work like by myself for a while, and then usually what happens is you'll have like a session with a director, which is basically you'll like sit down for a few hours and go through the entire film and like say, hey, what do you not like? And then we'll keep playing with stuff and fix it and try to make sure the director's happy. But generally I'll do like my own thing and do my own pass and be like, okay, I like it like this. Now, what do you think? And then they'll give their input.
Gotcha. So COVID kind of just spliced that up with, instead of having like a session like in a conference room, you would do it like over Zoom, I'm assuming?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Which is rough, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. And then there's also like the worst option, which is like email notes. We'll just like send notes through email and like not fun. But
why is Zoom rough? Because if
Zoom's rough because of the lag.
The lag, okay.
Because we're trying to play that video. And it's a little bit laggy, so it's like it's hard to get a live like, oh, like is it in sync? Like is that person like singing to the right lyrics? Like they can't tell sometimes, so it's hard.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And like when you're splicing things together, I know that from some of your past interviews, you said that, because I've never edited a music video, but from what I've heard is that you have to like listen to the music and then look at their lips and making sure that their articulations are matching up. Okay.
Yeah. So it's all synced like with just visually. Like there's no audio. They don't record any audio on set.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough. I could not do that. That'd be like staring at a screen for hours for me. I'm a very bad editor. I'm not good at editors. So every time I see your videos, I'm like, I always get super pumped. I'm like, I know I'm gonna get some value when I watch some Jordan. So,
oh, dude,
thank you for that.
I admire your work so much too. I could never sit down tweaking one 3D object to like make it be how I want it to be for one tiny thing. I don't know. It's so cool, bro. What you do.
I agree. I think, especially what you're doing, Jordan, I think daunting is not editing. Excuse me, I mixed up my words. Editing is so daunting to me because I'd like for you to give us a little insight of how much work actually goes into editing and the man hours and the time hunched over your computer screen. So for one of your bigger or longer projects, kind of give us a little insight of how long that took, first of all, and just all the work that you kind of put into it.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been getting, because I do this a lot, I get faster slowly, but because practice makes you faster apparently. But for like a big music video, I'm just gonna stick with music video as like the benchmark, because you could talk about films and short films, and those are obviously way longer. But a music video will generally take me about 2 to 3 days for a first cut. And then notes could be like 1 day or like a month or like 2 months. Like it could just go on forever because people just don't know what they want. And so that's kind of, it sounds so passive aggressive.
Somebody doesn't know what they want.
Somebody just can't figure their ish out. But basically, the entire first day, you don't do any editing. You're basically just setting up the project, syncing stuff, watching all the footage, making sure you're really familiar with it. And you kind of like can start like mentally editing, but you don't actually do any editing for the video. And then the next day, basically day and a half, you just like grind and just edit the whole thing. And that's kind of how it goes. So that's actually pretty fast. I like to pride myself on like how fast I can edit them because it helps. So that's pretty fast.
Those shortcuts.
Yeah, the keyboard shortcuts, dude. Freaking Command Shift D.
Yep.
Dude,
shout out to Command Shift D.
I keep telling Matthew to get those shortcuts, and he has.
I know. I don't have them down.
Gotten the shortcuts
I don't have them down. I really don't.
Dude. But they're so helpful.
I know. I'm such like a caveman. I use the mouse, and I click the icon. It's disgusting. It takes me years to edit anything. I know.
But Jordan, what you have on your site is like a little helpful tool for everybody. You have like a template you sign up for email newsletters, right?
Yeah, email newsletters, which I've sent 0 out, so you won't get any emails.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
I signed up. I signed up for it, and because I wanted to look at it.
Thanks.
I wanted to see what the. Of course, dude. I wanted to see what the template has, and basically, it's like what you're saying. It's from the first day. It's like all about organization. If you're not organized, and you're gonna have a bunch of stuff that you don't know where it is, you know where it goes, and it can just make your process a lot longer to do.
Exactly. It's a time saver. I call it my time saver. It saves me like 30 minutes to an hour by just like, I have a quick template of like how all my projects are set up, and so I just drop that in there and plug everything in and start going. Yeah,
and especially like I think that doesn't sound like a lot of time for some people, like 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could only imagine with all the stuff that you're doing with YouTube, with freelancing, and then to top all of that, your job is to edit videos, which is time taxing, I would say.
Yes.
Of going through footage and things like that. How do you manage your time if you're creating these little assets to help you save time? Because you're doing a lot of things. How do you manage like the other time? Do you calendar block, or do you use like apps? Like,
I'm a terrible planner. I'm the worst. I'm so bad. Ashley's over here nodding. Ashley's my girlfriend. She's just like she's like freaking out. She's like, "You suck at planning." And I'm just so bad. So it's basically all in my head, and I just like wake up and I'm like, what am I gonna do today? Oh yeah, I'll do this.
Oh my goodness.
I plan the next day, usually the day before. But if I'm on a music video, I know like, okay, I'm gonna have like 3-5 days where I'm just doing this music video, and anything else that comes in. Oftentimes I'm on like 2 or 3 projects at the same time. So it's like I just try to prioritize things as they come in.
Freaking
so,
mad
whatever's due first, you try to just get that done first, kind of like when you're in school. So
wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed because like I know how much time it takes to editing, and I have like a calendar block, like I have like everything like labeled and stuff like that, like color coded, and I thought
I admire that.
Dude,
I admire that a lot. I can't do that.
Dude, I don't want to have the calendar, dude. It's not. I don't like the calendar. It's not my friend.
Everybody be like Jimmy. Don't be like Jordan, okay? Everybody be like Jimmy. Say it together. Be like Jordan. Don't be like me.
So you don't use any time blocking whatsoever. But you have impeccable scheduling in the mind of Jordan. Speaking of the mind of Jordan, I'd like to take a look at your little ethical steps that you take when approaching the business. In Instagram, you have, which I was surprised about, and I have my own little thoughts about the fruitions of people who are like this. But you have a little what is this? It's not a proverb. So it's a Bible verse. What are those called?
It's a Bible verse.
Are they called something else other than?
Nope.
No,
that's it.
It's definitely a Bible verse.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, sweet.
Bible verse.
Sweet. Okay, so we got Romans 12:6. Okay, so it's having then gifts. Okay, I'm an NKJV fan, so I don't do anything with NLT or an NKJ. Or wait.
Yeah, bro. Whatever version.
I do the James version. Okay, just because it has James in it.
I love it.
All right, so it's having then
awesome.
Gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Let us use them. If prophecy, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith. Okay, so I think the last part is kind of powerful with that. Let us prophesy in proportion to our faith. Jordan, you are a professional entity, and you have this on your profile. You must have some sort of faith. And I know that ASUSA, the college you went to.
Azusa,
bro. I need to get that down.
AZUSA.
AZUSA.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to refer to as. So I know Azusa is a Christian college. Did that cultivate sort of the the mindset that you got now?
Well, definitely. I mean, I think I grew up in a Christian home, and not like non-denominational. Like don't worry about that. I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. So
nice. There you go.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. And that's just a part of who I am, and what I believe and what I have hope in for the future. And that's my faith, and that's why I do everything that I do, and that's why I try to. That's what helps me get up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And so
for sure,
basically, what I put in my bio is basically I just sometimes when I'm like I read the Bible and I say, oh, that verse really spoke to me in that moment today, and so then I'll just like throw that in my bio. And if you like had me say like, bro, what does this verse say? I would have no idea what it was. Like you could have just roasted me in front and been like, bro, what does that verse say? Like, tell me about that. No. And I've been like, I don't know what it says. No. Like, let me look it up really quick. But basically, that verse spoke to me at that moment because I was like, yeah, like we need to be. Everybody's gifted in something. You know, everybody is good at one thing or another. And if you haven't found that yet, you're good at something. You got to keep trying more things because you're freaking going to be amazing at one of them. And so that verse spoke to me in that moment and it was like, hey, you're good at something, so you should do that and you should keep working at that because that will help you and that will show other people that they can do that too and they can be passionate about something and make the world a better place for everybody to live in, you know? So
I find that super encouraging that because it's that one specifically. And I like it. There's two parts to it. Like the first part is, you know, what you said is having gifts differing according, you know, to what you've been given. You work, your whole job is like you're working in a team. So it's like, you know, everybody has these little different gifts. And when they all come together, it's like, you know, we're making something, dude. We're making some cool stuff. So, I just thought that was dope. You just kind of like spice your profile with all these little tidbits that I'm like grappling on, and I'm like, oh, this connects to this, and it's all making sense. And I can really appreciate that, dude.
That's cool. I appreciate that, guys.
For sure. And go ahead.
Yeah. So I have a question about that, just relating to that. First of all, do you think that this is kind of like your calling, like editing and directing, and this is sort of like a calling?
I mean, I think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I'm open and I'm following kind of like that verse that I'm following the path of like what I'm good at and what I like doing. And so I basically follow that path and use that to inspire people. If they're inspired, like that's great. And I use that to just make the world a better place, like I was saying before. So I definitely think, it's a calling. It's a way that I can, you know, leave your mark on the world and make the world a better place, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, as cheesy as that sounds, that's basically what it is.
No, it's not cheesy at all. I'm of the personal belief that media, and filmmaking and art and things like that are vitally important to human interaction. And a big part of human interaction is also religion and faith. And so I think that those two can be very, very intertwined, and that any position in any type of job can be a ministry position if you want it to be, or if you feel 100%. That it should be. So I didn't know if that was anything that you had like a goal in your future to, I don't know, aspire towards something more in that direction. I don't know if any of that made sense, but.
No, 100%. I mean, I think just the way that I'm able to spread love and spread joy, like that's the calling. And like, however I interact with people, whether it be an artist that I'm working with, a director that I'm working with, you guys, we're just like hanging out, you know, having a good time. As long as I can be like, show love to you guys and like make the world less sucky, like that's the goal.
And you do that because in some of your videos at the end, you're like, dude, Jesus loves you. And shout out to Jesus, but that's super stellar, dude.
Man.
Shout out to Jesus.
Honestly, though. Man. I find that like super cool that somebody's open with their faith like that, and not only that, but they share it like willingly, like willy-nilly. So
thanks, man.
So dude, I super appreciate that about you, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I follow you, and it's super cool because as I go into research of people, I don't call it cyber stalking, but it's cyber stalking. As I
totally
go into
cyber stalking. 100%.
So as I go deeper into it, it's kind of more like because I know there's a few motion design studios that put their faith at kind of their forefront, but they're like, it's kind of like they're champions of, like, I don't know, making moves. It's like the more they're more outspoken about it, and the more that they're, you know, being authentic and they're just being real, the more that other people see that authenticity and they're like, dude, I want some of that. That's dope. So that's just something interesting that I found.
People really appreciate realness, man.
That's so cool, and that's really encouraging to me, because I just put that out there and I have no idea what people think. I'm just like, you know, this is me. But it's so cool to hear that you guys appreciate that authenticity, because that's what I like really strive for. I really strive to be who I am, and not be fake, and not be like one of those people that are just like, and just react, just make crazy faces, and just that are fake, you know, online.
Love that, dude.
So I always try to be real.
Well, I don't think you can make anything original if you're not your authentic self, because every single person is different and uniquely made. And so if you're fake, you're trying to most likely copy someone else or something else that you've seen, because being fake is just acting. And so if you're being fake, you're not being yourself, and you can't create anything that's truly original. So I think that's probably why you are seeing some success, and you'll see some more success in the future if you keep being your authentic self. So props to you.
Y'all write that down. Take notes, somebody. That
was
good stuff.
That was deep, dude. Like, I'm processing that still.
Y'all can tweet that. Y'all can tweet that.
Make that my pinned tweet, dude.
There you go.
There's an ongoing trend with me and Matthew that he'll just like say something out of the blue, and then I'll tweet it, and then it'll just end up as my pinned tweet. So
it's true. It's true.
I love that. I was doing with one of my buddies too. That he just would say just off the chain things, just random stuff. I'd be like, bro, I'm tweeting that right now.
Yeah.
There's a whole catalog.
That's what Twitter's for, man. That is what Twitter is for.
Twitter is only for quotes. Only for quotes.
Yes.
By the bros. That's it.
Bros for quotes.
Bros for quotes.
I wasn't as cool as I thought I wanted, but
no, it wasn't.
Quotes for bro. I'll think about that one. Never.
Yeah,
mind.
well, think about it. We'll edit it out. Don't worry.
Get back to you.
we'll cut that part out. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking about Twitter, I just have a question, but shoot. You said something in one of your videos. Can't remember which one. It was late last night. It was about cancel culture. I'm uneducated. What's cancel culture, and why do we hate it? This is just
I don't know what that is either. I'm confused.
This is just a random question, but I was hoping to get some insight. Matthew, do you know what that is?
Oh, I think I know what cancel culture is.
What's cancel culture?
So neither of you know what that is, for real?
I have no idea. So
like on Twitter,
it's in my notes
or something, you can, if someone's getting canceled, for example, somebody got canceled recently. James Charles. You guys know who James Charles is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He got canceled. Well, that's a bad example because I have no clue why, but he got canceled for saying or doing something that was unfavorable to the masses. So if you are famous and you say or do something that is unfavorable to the masses, something most likely racist, or I don't know, say you did like blackface in 1980 or something, you'll get canceled now because that was inappropriate and people do not like you anymore. So cancel culture is this habit that the internet blob has to move around to different celebrities and dig into their past and see if there's a way to cancel them and kind of see if there's a way to drag them down. Not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing, because I think at its core, it's like, oh, we're kind of weeding out bad apples.
It's like a tribal sense.
But the term cancel culture implies that it's like, it's just kind of fun to ruin somebody's reputation in a way.
So messed up.
Nice.
Oh, totally. But that's
I think
Go ahead.
I've never. I think I've only. So basically, people probably took that and turned it into a joke, and then started like canceling people for fun, like because it was funny.
Mm.
And I've only heard of that part of it. I think like, I haven't actually heard of the actually what that means. So that's crazy. I'm like, I say that all the time. I'm like, bro, cancel me. Like, forget that.
Yeah. No,
I'm
don't
just
wish that
embarrassing
upon
myself
yourself,
out
Jordan.
here. But like, yeah, I say that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even actually know what that means.
No, I mean I don't even know what to make of it. It's a very, it's a newer phenomenon.
So the reason
That's hilarious.
I remember why I brought it up. Okay, so from your YouTube channel, here we're connecting dots right now. All right, so from your YouTube channel, you do a lot of K-pop, which I can appreciate. Being a new fan of K-pop, you do a lot of reviews and the differences kind of between American filmmaking and how they approach music videos between the Korean field. And I was thinking, like, I'm just getting into Twitter right now. I'm a new Twitter fan too. It's a year for new beginnings. And I'm like, Twitter has like a bunch of like K-pop stands, cancel, and that's where it came from. So
yeah,
just a full circle for you. Just a full circle.
Twitter's all politics and K-pop stands.
Oh yeah,
it's all it is.
Yeah, the thing about K-pop stands, I think for like a lot of the things during the Trump campaign and people who would support Trump on Twitter and stuff like that, K-pop stands would go and like tweet under or like comment under their tweets or something like that and just completely outnumber all of the comments and just completely take over hashtags and stuff like that. Because just the sheer number and unity of K-pop stands, it overwhelms any other group of people. So I thought that was a very fascinating thing.
They're literally terrifying. I remember when All Lives Matter, like that hashtag was trending.
Yes.
It was all K-pop stands.
Yep.
All of it.
Yeah. Because they like, overwhelm the hashtag. They don't want people hearing it.
Jordan, that's your people, Jordan. Those
your people, bro.
Where are they at, man? I feel like Twitter's been a place that I've like grown a little bit, but like I don't know where they're at. They're all hiding.
They are
in the dark web of Twitter.
The
Army from DPS, terrifying. They're so powerful.
Oh my
anything
goodness.
you want, like there's a running joke on the internet, like anything you want, just ask Army and they'll like make it happen somehow. Like
scary.
You want like Joe Biden be president? Ask Army. Like he's president.
They won't make it happen.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. They're a terrifying fan base.
Fascinating stuff.
But they're yours. Like that's the cool thing. Is that
I'm like part of it. I'm like in it, and it's like I didn't know what I got myself into.
Didn't you?
You are K-pop, Jordan.
Represent. Didn't you get like a shout out from BTS? Something was on your story. I'm gonna butcher his name if I even like try to say it. It's Young Cook. Young. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Jungkook, maybe?
Jungkook, yes. Not Young. I don't know why I pronounced it with an H.
Shout out. Was that from today that I posted?
Yeah, it was from today. So I was trying to look it up and like see more information, but I didn't understand.
It was like there's a K-pop magazine, I think, called All K-pop.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the BTS video that just came out was directed by one of the members actually, and his name's Jungkook. And he like does like home video stuff and like documents the band all the time, but they actually let him direct this whole music video.
Wow.
And so I was like shouting him out because I know people would really appreciate it that he was directing it and not like a professional director. And so I was like shouting him out, and then they like quoted me in this article like on like this magazine called All K-pop, and that's all it was. They're like, and this professional editor Jordan Orme said Jungkook did a good job. Let's all say good job, Jungkook. That was basically
nice. Okay.
That's kind of dope, though.
Yeah, that was super cool. I just woke up today and I was like, oh, cool.
Wow.
Do you
very
think
cool.
The K-pop stands and Jungkook, do you think they see your stuff like all the time and it's like they're filtering through it? Do you ever like, when you're lying at sleep at night and be like, I wonder if they're actually looking at this, like the artists themselves?
Yeah, I wonder that. I mean, I don't wonder that, but people like comment that sometimes. They're like, "Oh, I wonder if Jungkook will watch this." I'm like, "Oh, you're right. I wonder if he does," because I like always assume that they wouldn't. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd be surprised. Like artists, like there's like two kinds of artists. There's artists that like watch everything that somebody puts out about their song, and then there's artists that are like, "I'm going to Hawaii and turning off the internet. Like, don't talk to me." So it's like, I always assume artists are like that, but I guess there's some that like really like to watch reactions to their own music videos. So maybe.
I think I don't want to be a celebrity solely for that reason, because I think I would be the one that would be so infatuated with what people had to say about my work, and on like a large scale that would be so incredibly taxing on like mentally, and I just don't. Do you deal with that at all? Like, I know you have a pretty significant fan base. I would call it significant fan base on YouTube and stuff like that, and I know
K-pop people.
The K-pop stands, man, are they like knocking down your door, or do you look at all the comments and things like that, or what?
I think K-pop stans are generally really encouraging, except for when like sometimes I like mispronounce names, or just like there's one time like on the most popular video I have, I just like completely called one member like the complete wrong name, just like butchered it, and like then they roasted me for that. They're like, "You said the wrong name.
What an idiot!
What a doofus!" But yeah, they're generally really encouraging. They're like, "Good job, Jordan. We love Jordan." So like, I generally don't try to read them too much. I try to reply to a lot of them just because people like interaction.
Because you're a dope dude.
And so then I read them, but I don't like go read them when I'm free.
Yeah.
But
do you have haters, Jordan?
Honestly, I don't really.
Everybody
like
loves
people ask me
it.
like.
Everybody loves it.
I do, but I don't have like people that stalk me and like hate on me. 'Cause everybody has that. Every like celebrity has that. They're like, "Oh, there's dude just DMing like hate crime messages to you."
crazy stuff.
We need
crazy crap. People have like crazy stories, but I don't have any crazy stories like that yet. So.
We need on the record.
Fingers crossed.
I like that you're keeping that open for the future.
I'm the good stalker. I'm not part of the bad ones. Okay, we're into research over here. I just want that to be on the record.
Jimmy's my hater. Jimmy's my one hater.
Absolutely.
Okay, we were talking about Twitter earlier, and we have this. We're making it a segment on the Not Network podcast, but it's called "Explain This Tweet," and so.
Oh no.
So I want.
I love this segment.
So we're going to. The first one I got is March 17th, 2019, at 1:50 a.m. You've got one like on this.
Wow. Going
to the bathroom while creating is so important. The best ideas come while peeing and pooping. Care to comment?
Facts. Okay, 2019 Jordan.
Okay.
Spreading the truth. Let's go. No, actually, it's really important. Like in my creative process, I remember like I think I was editing at that point. I was working on a music video. And I was just like so stuck. I was like, bro, I have no idea what to do here. So I like got up, went to the bathroom. I don't know. I think I had a poop. It was pretty good.
Good number
then,
two.
Like, yeah, good number two. And then I like figured it out. And then when I walked back, I like knew what to do. Then I was like, I got it. Like it was like, it's like shower thoughts. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like you have deep, good, creative thoughts when you're on the toilet.
So you heard it here, listeners. If you're ever stuck on anything, go let out a quick deuce.
Yes.
Come back. And it will be clear as day. That's a promise from Jordan Orme.
You working on math homework, you don't understand it, bro. Just hit the toilet real quick.
Yeah.
Ivory.
Drop the kids off at the pool.
You will know pre-calc when you come back.
I
drop
think
the kids off.
That's super. That's really encouraging to hear, because like I was always frustrated when I was like doing something on a computer and then I'd like ditch and I'd be like, man, I really need to be working on that. But it's true that like if you walk away from something, let your brain rest a bit and then come back to it, you're right as rain, dude. So
hot tips
over here. Cool. And then the next one is April 22nd, 2019. You got 3 hearts at 3:55 p.m. I have an excitable brain. Do you know what that is?
I don't remember tweeting that.
Okay.
But you did, Jordan. Explain it. You did.
Yeah, I know. Excitable brain.
I'm surprised you remember the first one, actually.
I remember the first one vividly. Like,
oh my
in my mind, I remember the poop. Like, I remember all of that. Like,
was it a good?
Excitable.
Was it a good?
Brain. Maybe it's just like that. My brain doesn't stop, because that's pretty true. Like, it's always just there's something in there just cranking.
That's what a dope creator does.
Like, I'm always just chewing on something in there. But I think that's basically. I was probably like one of those ones where you're just like tweeting. You're like, does anybody still like me? And then you just like tweet something, and then you're like, nope, they don't. And then
100% nobody likes me. Yeah,
that's
I totally get that.
Feel that.
Good for you.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're nearing the end here. Jordan, do you? Man, I say a lot.
Me too.
do you?
Me too.
Give me your plugs. Where can people find? And we're gonna have everything linked in the show notes here. Where can people like find you to kind of relish in your excitable brain?
Oh gosh.
That era.
So I am on Twitter, because we've been talking about Twitter, at Jordan Orme. I'm on Instagram at Jordan_Orme. I'm trying to like unify those, but it's been a really tough time. Anyway, that's a side thing for all my struggles with social media. I'm on YouTube you just type in my name, Jordan Orme, and I post a lot of reaction videos there to music videos. And you can go to my website to see my work and see what I've edited or directed, and that is jordanorme.com. And that's basically it.
Dude, Jordan.
Great.
Thank you so much for, like I said before, for replying to the DM and saying you want to do this podcast. That means so much to me, dude. I really
Bro, this has been so
that.
fun. I'm having such a great time just chatting with you guys. It's awesome.
Good. Yeah. Hats off. Chef's kiss to you. Thank you so much again for joining us. I agree. This was wonderful. Wait,
Matthew, Jimmy, you guys have been incredible.
I have one final question for you. This is a personal question.
Heck yeah.
So I have a video project that I've been working on. I say working on with very exaggerated air quotes for it feels like years, but for months. And it's one of those things that, I went to go take that poop and I never came back to it because I was just I was so exhausted. I worked on it for like a week straight and like every single day, 4 or 5 hours a day. And I was like, man, I'm having so much fun. And then I hit a wall and I was like, and I want to do it. I want to finish it really badly, but I know in my mind that I'm only like halfway. And that hurts me and it hurts my soul. And I want to finish it, but I don't want to like finish it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What do you have any tips for like getting through that or reigniting my fire?
That's a tough one, man. I've been in that place where you're just like editing or working on a project and you're like, I hate this. And I'm not even close to being done. And it's like, that sucks. So I think the best thing I would do is long breaks are good. So you're taking a long break. So you already got that.
Very long break. So yeah.
Good job. Next thing I would do is find something that is like that thing that you really like. And it's like, whoa, this is super cool. And then visualize in your mind, your mind's eye, you finishing that thing and it being freaking like that cool. And it's like, whoa, I'm about to make something that's so freaking dope. And that'll get you amped up. Like, okay, this is going to be cool. We're going to finish this because once I'm done, it's going to feel so good. Yeah. And it's going to be freaking awesome. I can share it with all my friends. They'll love me forever. Like, and my life will be perfect afterwards.
That's all I want, Jordan. That's all I want.
That's it. But I think like watching things that are really inspiring help me.
That's a great really tip.
Stuck.
That's interesting that you say that because what inspired me to even do this thing in the first place was a video that I watched. So maybe I should go back and watch it again and just start back from there. Square
Rekindle
one.
the heat.
rekindle that fire. Well, thank you. Thank you for answering that question. And wow, I think we've made a friend today, Jimmy.
Dude.
We're not networking, guys.
I know
We're making friends. That's right.
Got some more friends. I mean, I was already friends with Jimmy, but Matthew, nice to meet you, man.
Hey,
you're freaking awesome.
You too.
I love you.
If we could shake hands or give a fist bump, I would do it.
We could do a weenus tap.
Let's do a weenus tap right to the camera.
That should be your signature.
Yeah.
I'm a little too far from the camera. That should be your signature though, at the end of the show. I love that.
Yeah.
Weenus tap.
Weenus taps.
Weenus taps.
Thank you, sir, so much. Good. Oh, do you have a class? Are you making a class? I heard something from a bird.
I want to. I haven't started yet, but I want to make an editing class on like how to edit a music video from start to finish and just like exactly how to do it so people can like, man, how do I edit a music video? Boom, class. This is exactly how you do it step by step. And so I want to do that. It's probably going to be a 2021 thing, but stay on the lookout for that.
Well, whenever you do it, we're linking it in the show notes because it's going to be there. So I'm going to grab that link and I'm going to slap it in that podcast, dude. So appreciate it. Appreciate your time. And thank you, sir. This is the end. The end.
The ender.
Yes.
Now it's the end.
Now it's the end.
Yeah. Wait.
Do you guys have an outro?
No. Should we?
This is the outro.
Let's
make an outro right now.
Wait. Okay. What are we doing? I'm up for ideas.
I honestly like the weenus tap. That's a pretty good
I think
outro.
the weenus tap.
Weenus tap away.
That's pretty strong.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What do we need?
Just
jingle?
Like weenus taps, like boom, 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 and then like out. You're done.
Pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Well, this is audio only. Is the thing.
Oh.
So then you could visualize it.
Do we need to like?
Okay.
Do we need to make a clap?
Okay, hold on. We need to rethink this because it's audio only.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
Point. You could. That's kind of funny, honestly, if you just hear
just a little
after the weenus.
Yeah.
You just
we'll
hear
let people
tiny
visualize it for themselves.
Skin slaps.
Skin slaps.
I'm like that. Never mind.
I'll record
nasty.
that. I'll record that, and then we'll like. It'll be like something that'll sound like super crisp and pure, and then like after the end, it'll be like,
yes,
you know,
we need some nice crispy weenus taps at the end of our podcast from now on.
Weenus tap,
crispy weenus.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the podcast. Hope you enjoyed the good vibes that Jordan brought. If you missed where to find him, we have literally everything linked in the show notes. If you have any comments or want to connect, hit us up on Twitter. And don't forget, we're not networking, we're making friends.
What is what's the thought behind the name Not Network?
Oh shoot. Oh, that's going to be in the intro. Okay. So
it will be in the intro.
So when in 2019, when I was being pumped full of Gary Vee, I kept thinking about networks and things like that. And I think that is such a weird way to say, hey, let's make some friends, because networking has a connotation of let's do business together. And that is not what I want whatsoever. I honestly, it is literally an excuse to talk to cool people. So I know that there's like a distance between pretty much most of the people I've met on Instagram and Twitter, and I just love to talk with them. Or just like, it's kind of like there's a podcast or there's a show called like Wine After Coffee, and it's just like kind of like talking shop and just talking like a bunch of things. I kind of want that to be this, but I also want some information. So that's kind of where Not Network. I don't want it to be a network. That's why it's Not Network. Yeah. Have you heard of Not Pot Dealer?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. It's this brand on Twitter. They sell CBD gummies, and it is all for it. I think all the proceeds go to a bail bond fund. They give it to people who can't post bail for misdemeanors like smoking weed. So it's kind of like this, I don't know, this company that's really cool and does a lot of cool things for the community. Yeah, so that's where I got it from. But not the not in the not thing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I love the inspo.
Our tagline is we're not networking, we're making friends. So the whole point of it is like, in a way, some people that we talk to, like it is kind of it's a network thing, but it's not as impersonal because that's not what it's
You guys
about.
have nailed it. You
It's
nailed
not what
it.
it's about.
Dude, so appreciate that, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you
No,
so
because
much.
I always tell people all the time, like, this is what I say is like, yo, if you want jobs, don't network. Literally, like, say, hey, like, let me buy you lunch and let's just like hang out for an hour really quick. And you like, don't ask for a job. Don't talk about anything job related unless you really want to, and just like make friends with them. Like, that's all you have to do.
Have you ever
And
done
then
that?
everybody wants to work with their friends, and
Exactly.
Yeah, I did that all the time. I did that all the time senior year, and that was like kind of how I made some of those connections. Like Chadwick is a dude that's a great friend of mine, and he's the creative director at West, and I like literally did that with him. And we just like got coffee one day. It was awesome, and we became friends. And then he's like, "Hey, bro, do you want to edit this one thing? I know you edit." And I was like, "Heck yeah, man!" And then like that's it. And then
That's
we
how
went
it
from
goes.
there.
That's how it
That's
goes.
how it goes. So I love that you're doing that. It's like the absolute 100% best approach to like talk with people is just like, hey, come on my podcast and let's talk. And then you're just actually just like making friends with them. It's perfect.
Straight up.
Sick.
Like if I was going to make a podcast, like this is exactly what I would do. It's perfect.
Whoa. We've got the endorsement.
100%.